I'm your host, Greg. Welcome. Well, it is, I had to make sure of the date because I lose track of the date so much. It's December 17th. And all my friends in Michigan are buried in several inches of snow. So what I'd like to do right now is I would like to show y'all what it's like where I am. Okay? Grass. It's wet, but it's rain. It's about 40 degrees. Yeah, that's the smoking area. That's where they go to puff away and roll cigarettes. That's how much it is here. God, I'm so glad I moved. That was the one thing that I hated. Snow. After 47, 40 years, I was tired of it. Tired of snow. Hate snow. Yeah, going sliding downhill and playing in the snow, that's all fun and good until somebody gets hurt. We went, for those of you, my friends that live in Clio, maybe you don't live in Clio, but you know the Clio area. We went out behind the library and slid down the hill out there. And they had this thing at the bottom of the hill that was like a dip. And you went down and you hit the dip, you flew into the air and you landed. It wasn't good on my back. I did it one year, hurt my back. My wife's like, oh, you're a chicken, because I wouldn't do it the next year. I wasn't stupid enough to do it twice. She's getting ready to go down, and she's like, oh, you'll be fine, we'll be fine. Oh, it's all right, I'm not old. She's not old, but when she hit the ground, she found that ground's hard and icy and solid. Slipping and falling on the ice. You know, having to go out and spend half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour, depending on how big your driveway and sidewalk is, shoveling snow. I can remember one time we shoveled the snow. We shoveled out the driveway. We lived in a modular home community. I shoveled the driveway part out, which wasn't much because we had an overhang that kept most of the snow out of there. But I shoveled that part out, shoveled the walk going out there, went back inside. 2 hours later, I went back out and had to do it again. And I did it that way just so that I didn't have, 8 inches of snow to shovel. I'm going to shovel 4 now, shovel 4 later. I hate winter. I hate it. Now, if it's just cold, I can deal with the cold. Okay, I can put on a sweatshirt. I can put on a stocking cap. I can put on gloves. I can put on my boots, which I don't do very often. I can deal with the cold. Okay? The snow. I don't like the ice either. I like the ice because it makes the roads icy and you slip and slide all over the place. And when you're driving something like I'm driving, slipping and sliding on the ice is not good. It's not. I mean, once your trailer goes, you go with it. But I wanted to touch on something else today real quick. For those of you who are living in an area where you're getting a lot of snow already, please remember, okay, it's just snow, number one. Number two, need to increase your following distance when you're driving in it. Make sure you're giving that extra time. Because the fact is, if they stop, can you? I've mentioned that in my videos before. Now you say, well, Greg, if they stop, they're going to slide on the same ice that I'm sliding on. This is true. But what if they have an 18-wheeler sitting in front of them? And they try and stop, and they hit the back end of that 18-wheeler. And you can't stop. I guarantee you, when they hit the back end of that 18-wheeler that's standard, that's not moving, they're not going to move that 18-wheeler. If they got a pickup truck, maybe they might move it a couple inches, but they ain't moving that truck. And then you smash into them because you can't stop, and then the person behind you, who's not increased their following distance, slams into you, and before you know it, you got a 30 or 40 car pileup. That's how those things get started. One person stops, and nobody else can because they're following too close. Give yourself enough room to where if they suddenly come to a complete stop, you have time to make a decision. You have time. You can go to the left, you go to the right. What do I do? Okay? So that's number 2. Number 3, 2 words. Slow down. You say, Greg, it takes me an hour to get to work. Then you know what you better do? You better leave at least, if not more, at least a half an hour early. So if you leave the house at 7 o'clock in the morning to be to work at 8, you better leave at 6:30. But then I got to get up earlier. Well, you know what? Would you rather lose a half an hour of sleep or the rest of your life? Because that's what it could come down to, folks. It could come down to your life. And these are treacherous conditions out here in some places. I can remember I have to take a winter driving class. They have like a simulator that we have to sit on and drive. It simulates driving. I think it's goofy because none of that simulation is like the real thing, but it's close. But I have to take this class, and I'm thinking to myself, you guys in Kansas City are going to teach me how to drive? I spent 10 years driving in Metro Detroit. And for those of you who drive through the Metro Detroit area, you know what I'm talking about. Try leaving work at, say, 4:30 in the afternoon, snowing like mad, snowing so bad you can't really see the road, even on the interstates, 275, 696, the Southfield, the Lodge, 75, 94, any of those. You're going up Telegraph, you can't even see the road. Try driving in that. I've done it many a time. Bad memories. That's why I wanted to move. But again, increase your following distance. That's key. Increase your following distance and slow down. Those are the 2 keys to driving in the winter weather. Okay? Because you don't know what that dingbat in front of you is doing. And they do some crazy stuff, believe you me. In any event, I just got back here last night from Council Bluffs, Iowa. And it was just, it was a weird trip. Because it's about a 4-hour drive. So I figured I'd be back here, 12:30, midnight, 12:30. It was like 1:30 when I got back here. And it's like, why did it take so long? It just took forever. Just, I don't know. And then I got back here, and of course I got back here and couldn't sleep because I'm used to being up, at night. So I get back here like 1:30 in the morning. I can't sleep. Laid here and watch Cheers on Netflix. I love that show. Let me touch on just a little something here before I wrap things up. Let me touch on a little something on Cheers. I've been watching it because they've got all the seasons on Netflix. And I'm on season 7 now, okay? And I'm over halfway through season 7. And I've watched Norm. For those of you who watch Cheers, you know who Norm is. He's sitting at the end of the bar and he's drinking a beer and he sets it down. Then he goes to do something. And then before you know it, he's saying, give me another beer. Give you another beer. You ain't finished the one you got yet. I'm telling you, the beer police would have a ball at that place. Guys that set their beers down and then they go and they get another beer. It's like, I see it all the time. And you watch little things. If you really pay attention, there's little things that go on. It's just, it's goofy. And I've watched it so much now. The show's very predictable. I've watched so much of it now that as the show goes on, I can predict what's going to happen. Because it happens every episode. It's never different. They had a new executive that came in and he had an old guy that was his right-hand man, right? And I remember it was Clifford Norman read something in the paper about how, or in a magazine, about how this guy had gotten to his power of prominence, and he had taken over the family business at 17 and fired his dad. Well, come to find out, the old man that was his right-hand man was his dad. And I knew it from the beginning. I said as soon as anyway. All right, Greg, you babbled on long enough. You talked about some of the stupidest stuff, except for the driving tips. Those are, folks, I know I get goofy on here, but as my motto is, we try and be informative, educational, and funny, okay? That's the educational part of it, and informative. Please, increase your following distance when you're driving in the winter weather, and slow down, okay? You're going to get to where you're going. You're just going to get there a few minutes later. So leave a few minutes earlier. All right? I don't want to hear about any of my friends or any of my viewers being in an accident and killing themselves because of something that they didn't do right when they were driving. All right? So, I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And you're going to continue to hear Merry Christmas out of me until after the holidays. Once the holidays are over, you won't hear it anymore. Matter of fact, after the 25th, you won't hear Merry Christmas, but you will hear Happy New Year. So, to all my friends out there, and to all those who watch, I want to wish each and every one of you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And until next time, this is your host of the video of the day, Greg the Crazy Trucker, saying, see ya!